Hello.
Without this opportunity, I wouldn't be where I am.
I'm Punit.
Ask Punit Renjen how a kid from India makes a permanent mark on Salem's Willamette University. He'll tell you it's a long story.
I grew up in a small town in India, Rohtak, I went to boarding school when I was 7 years old and came back home at 14 because my father ran out of money.
Renjen couldn't know it yet, but that difficult experience would become a valuable lesson.
It taught me the value of hard work, which I think is essential to anybody trying to succeed.
The tide turned in 1984 when he got a Rotary scholarship to Willamette. He left home for good.
So sight unseen, never been out of the country, never been on an airplane. I came from Rohtak, Haryana to Salem, Oregon, and to beautiful Willamette University.
Renjen arrived with no place to stay. He wandered around campus and into a fraternity house.
There were a few fraternity brothers that were putting their beds together. And I walked in on them and I said, I'm an international student and I have no place to stay, and they let me sleep on the sofa. That was my first American experience.
It was the beginning of a decades-long relationship with Willamette.
This is where I got my opportunity, my start.
Renjen studied hard. He majored in economics, earned a master's degree in management, then applied to a long list of jobs.
I didn't have any grand plan.
One at Deloitte. At the time, it was known as Deloitte Haskins & Sells.
Deloitte Haskins & Sells rejected me. I actually have that rejection letter.
Another, Touche Ross, gave him a chance, before later being bought out by Deloitte. The firm that once rejected Renjen kept him on.
I taught myself to like it and become good at my craft.
The accounting firm operates in 150 countries with billions of dollars in revenue. In 2015, Renjen was named Deloitte's global CEO. He's the first Asian-born person to lead one of the world's largest professional services firms.
Looking back now, when I was 18 years old in Rohtak, Haryana, and if you had lined up all the kids that were 18, I don't think anybody would have picked me to be the global CEO of a $50 billion multinational organization.
Under his leadership, Deloitte launched World Class, an initiative to advance education and professional skills for 100 million people across the globe, including in his home country.
175 million women and girls in India are uneducated. To be the leading and because they are uneducated, they don't have access to the same set of opportunities that you and I do. And so through education, we are impacting the lives of hopefully 50 million by 2030.
When the brutal second wave of COVID hit India, Deloitte launched a project to treat the sick.
First started in my home state of Haryana, and then we're now trying to do it across India and South Africa, is to see as to how we provide care to mild and moderate patients of COVID and reduce the crush on hospitals.
His commitment to giving back led him back to Willamette.
Having lived the immigrant experience and being profoundly grateful to Oregon and to America for giving me this opportunity, I felt it was important to give back.
3 years ago, the Renjen Center was established here on campus.
Hi. How are you?
A space focused on diversity and inclusion.
Well, it's great to see you all in here. I'm glad that you're using it.
Where students can find support and community.
For me, this is really important in terms of giving back. It's for people like you and also for kind of re-emphasizing the immigrant experience.
An experience highlighted with this plaque.
Dedicated to my mom and dad.
Wow.
I think they would be proud.
Now, as Renjen reflects on his journey,
so I think my takeaway is it takes a lot of hard work. Takes a little bit of luck.
Please help me to welcome Punit Renjen.
He's grateful for the road that led him to Oregon, a place he now calls home.
It's where I got my education. It's where I got my start. I was in your position 32 years ago. It's also where I fell in love. And my wife is a native Oregonian.
He built a life here and is proud of his story, his American dream.
And I think we need to celebrate this ability of immigrants, people like me, people that look different, to come here for this wonderful country to embrace us, give us the opportunity, and for us to then be able to contribute back.